every time. Hold on, Skip. Zeke was the same guy that said this after the Minnesota game. Remember, he said that after the Minnesota game? And then guess what?
At least they had an impressive win that day.
Yeah, okay.
On the road, yeah.
You, Michael Irvin, Zeke said after that big come from behind win against the Falcons, this is the kind of game that gives you momentum, that gives you. And guess what happened? You lost to Seattle. You come back against the Giants. Oh, boy, we got some momentum.
Well, you left out Cleveland, in which we were down 41-14 in the fourth quarter at home.
Yeah, and I remember you guys came back against the Giants. We're down 17-3. You came back, Andy Dalton. Yeah, big win. And guess what happened the next game, Skip? You want to tell them? You want me to tell them? Blown out by Arizona. After the win against the Vikings. That's why we go. Zeke said we go get this train rolling again. Guess what happened, Skip, on Thanksgiving? Tell the people at home that maybe was eating and didn't watch the game. Blown out by the Washington football team.
In the fourth quarter.
No. You were blown out.
Well, it should have been tied going to the fourth quarter.
You lost 41 to what, 16? So, Skip, no. Skip, you beat one of the worst teams in football. I'm not so sure right now on a neutral field. I wouldn't take Cincinnati over the Jets. I wouldn't take Cincinnati over Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew back. Because Mike Glennon been sorry since he got to Tampa, and he done bounced around. He's still sorry.
He was sorry in college.
He's just the older sorry player now. He was young and sorry. Now he old and sorry.
Vanderbilt beat him in a bowl game, believe it or not.
Skip, can you believe that the head coach actually wanted Mike Glennon to start over Russell Wilson? That's why Russell Wilson left.
Yep.
To go to Wisconsin, because that guy wanted Mike Glennon, but that's neither here nor there. Skip, no, I ain't, Skip, I'm not believing anything the Cowboys say. They beat one of the worst teams in football. And you up there proud of your chest about that? I just watched you get blown out the other night against Baltimore. You gave up 300 yards rushing. So what was the momentum on that one? You didn't build no momentum? Man, stop this. No, I got nothing the Cowboys say. It's over for y'all. You can get all the momentum you want. It's over. You're done. Your season is over. You know that. I know that. Because you got to win out and then hope somebody else lose out. And that ain't happening.
Okay. Allow me to pay my respects to my team.
What respects?
My nearly departed team. I appreciate what the defense did yesterday, albeit against the woeful Bengals, albeit against the Bengals with no Joe Mixon at running back. But after getting run off the field for much of the year, including that previous game against Baltimore, did you see what they held them to? They held them to 101 yards. I'm all in. Like, thank you for that.
Yeah, with no Joe Mixon.
Okay. I know, no Joe Mixon. Samaje Perine from OU was still there. But still, what you have to frame it with is the fact that Cincinnati is home for the holidays.
Yeah.
You could just see it right away. They fumbled on their first 3 possessions. If we could see these, these are the first 3 possessions of the game.
Yeah, they try to get this thing over with.
Okay, that's what it looked like to me. If we could please view this. Okay, that's a strip by D-Law. He brought the law yesterday. Way to go.
Look at this
and
one.
The second one,
this is gonna
he
be a
just ran
touchdown.
into his own tackle, and Aldon Smith said, "Oh, look what I found." He looks good. How fast does that look, Aldon Smith? He looks
look
like
at this. Look at this right here.
This is just silliness to me. What are you doing? And you're going in for a touchdown at that point. so that all happened, bang, 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 in the first 3 possessions. Well, yeah, you got a shot to win 30-7, and they did.
You're right.
And they did hold them to 101 yards rushing, which shows you a little bit of pride. And they did do it with a secondary that is just absolutely decimated. The one guy I loved, besides Trevon Diggs, but that I told you that Donovan Wilson will lay the wood.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he's been gone, and all of a sudden Anthony Brown was gone, and Awuzie was gone yesterday, and Trevon Diggs is still gone. So they were down 4 guys who have been starting for them. Okay, so it was hard. You were up against it like everybody seems to be in the NFC East, starting with Philly and then going to New York with Daniel Jones.
But why are you and Zeke so positive? You started the day in last place. The day comes to a close. You're still in last place. So I'm trying to see the positivity in there. I can see if you moved up 2 spots, now all of a sudden you're in second place or you're tied for the league. You started in last. So if I start dead last, I end up dead last. What have I gained?
Okay, so I appreciate the
optimism.
The optimism. I don't appreciate the delusion, because it's just delusional to be saying that. But if you do look at it, mathematically, they're still alive. So they have San Francisco, Philadelphia at home, and then at the Giants. if they win all 3 games, which they're capable of winning those 3 games because those 3 teams got their issues. And again, I just talked about, I love Jalen Hurts, but they got decimated on defense. So they're going to have big trouble going to Arizona trying to stop Kyler with, I don't know how many starters are going to be out.
Right.
6 starters on defense, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. So if Dallas wins out because they got throttled twice by their arch rival Washington, they have no tiebreaker with Washington that just looked like it separated yesterday.
Washington wins 1 game.
It's 1 game and it's over.
It's over.
Okay. So Washington would have to lose out, and they got Seattle at home, Carolina at home.
They gonna get Carolina. The Broncos just beat the brakes out Carolina.
Okay. And it's Ron Rivera. It's going.
Yeah. He like, y'all fired me in the middle of the season. Y'all didn't let me finish my season.
And then they finish at Philadelphia against Jalen Hurts, who could be the X factor. He could be dangerous.
They have Division 1 by then.
Yeah.
They're going to have Christmas, so they play Sunday, and they're going to probably play, that Sunday after Christmas. Yeah, that'd be Christmas. That'd be their Christmas stocking, NFC East champ.
But their issue is their quarterback is who?
Yeah.
Their quarterback is who do you trust?
You got
right?
Me with that one. You got me with that one.
Well, I don't know. Alex Smith was horrible yesterday, and we mentioned it earlier. Their defense scored both their touchdowns. Alex Smith had a QBR of 9. He was just pathetic. No touchdowns and interception.
Yeah.
Couldn't move the ball. And actually, Dwayne Haskins looked a little better, but he was still pretty bad. He had a QBR of 31.
You do realize the reason why Alex Smith is in there, because Haskins had looked terrible early. So that's why Alex Smith got a chance. Well, the guy that replaced Haskins got hurt. And Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
So now Alex Smith had to get in there. But Skip, look, I still believe Dwayne Haskins can do enough to be able to win one of these last 3 games if he's called upon. Now, like you said, Seattle is not going to be an easy out.
No.
Boy, they can get after you. That front 4, you see that was money well spent with Payne, Allen, Sweat, Chase Young. You throw Kerrigan in the mix, they can come get you.
Well, in the East, obviously, they got the best. They got the best front 7 for sure. And I've respected Phillies when it's healthy, but whew.
But they've done the best job, Skip, because that's where they've invested their money.
Yep.
Now the Giants got a nice front 7, but Skip, they traded for Leonard Williams, and so they didn't put the stockpile into like the Cowboys drafted. They put their money in the offensive line, and so for the longest time, that's why they were so dominant on the offensive side of the football. The Washington football team says all of our money, year after year, Skip. And hey, when you're bad, you get high draft picks. You get guys in the teens. You get the number 2 overall pick. You heard mic'd up with Mike Tomlin. Said, I don't ever want to be a bad to get a guy like you. Say, to get somebody to look like you and play like you got to be pretty bad. I don't want to be that bad.
And then the Giants yesterday suffered at home a Cowboy-esque disaster, right?
Man, Skip.
That was – they shouldn't have started Daniel Jones because they didn't call one running play. He didn't run one time with the football because he was limpy and gimpy the whole game on his hamstring. They should have started Colt McCoy, and they would have had a better shot.
Thank you. When have you ever known someone, Skip, to have a hurt hamstring, miss a week, and then come back the next week?
You just can't.
If that hamstring was that bad, I've had them, and I don't know how many people out there have them. It bothers you to walk, let alone try to run, Skip. And you see him, he limping off the field, and that's why that guy had 5 sacks, 3 forced fumble, 2 tackle for losses. There's a reason why. Skip, he can't go anywhere. And Daniel Jones got legs. That was also surprised me about the Saints. Who gives up more rushing yards to the quarterback than the Eagles? And not one time did Taysom Hill try to run. Daniel Jones got out the gate. Got a 34-yard touchdown. Remember, Skip, up there in the new MetLife, I think that's what they call it. Had an 80-yard where he stumbled over his own feet.
He did. He does that.
He does that.
He couldn't do
that yesterday, Skip.
He could not. So now I'm going to speak just as a lifelong Cowboy fan. And I feel like I'm an objective Cowboy fan. And I told you how mixed my emotions were going into yesterday. We needed to lose that game to a team that was sitting in the 3rd spot in the draft, and we were 4th.
Right.
And if we had lost to them, we would vault over them into 3rd. Well, now we won it. Now Zeke's talking about, here we go. We got momentum. It ain't over. Well, the worst case scenario would be they would win out. They just keep going down, down in the draft. And meanwhile, if Washington just beats Carolina at home, they're going to eclipse us because they beat us twice.
Head to head.
Okay? So winning out would be the ultimate disaster. It would be insult to injury for this year, right?
Yes.
Because you would lose any shot at having a top 5 draft pick.
Yes. Oh, that'd be over. That's the worst thing that can happen. If I can see, Skip, you can say, you know what? I can do without the top 5 draft pick. We won the division. We got a playoff game. I can live with that. But to lose out on the top 5 draft pick, not win the division, and now somewhere you were somewhere like 8, 9.
Yep. So yesterday I had to watch Andy Dalton signal his wife up in the stands, who was sitting up in a box by herself, and he was doing the sign language sign for "I love you." At first I thought it was like hook 'em horns. It was like the Texas sign, but the thumbs out.
Right.
You know? So,
but he's a horn frog, so he can't.
He doesn't. There's also a horn frog sign that you can do, but he wasn't doing that.
Right.
He was doing the "I love you" sign up to his wife, which was sweet and it was cute.
Bro, you beat the Bengals.
Yeah, you were beating the Bengals. It was his team, obviously, that drafted him, so it was sweet revenge for him.
Skip.
But it didn't do us any good, Andy. I'm sorry.
But Andy, why you said I love you, and that's great. I mean, I'm sure you have a lovely wife, but you're the reason they got Joe Burrow. Had you played better,
that's true.
They wouldn't have got Joe Burrow.
I can't argue with